18.
There was a lot of evidence that
And
was
she
for Grubbs
stays on it.
pointing toward suicide. He just didn't. If it wasn't anything about me, he just didn't pay attention to it. He literally just put it on no mind list. Anything that had to do, they literally went to her therapist records, got those records, read them, found out that she was saying she was having problems. She was telling the therapist this and why, and they just literally just pretend like it didn't exist. There's motive. You have to have motive, right? I'm gonna tell you right? And this is inside information, man, because it's fucking true. It's real. Did your team try to? Listen to this. You need motive. You don't have to prove motive in Ohio. But one guy that was on the jury was like, if you don't tell me why this guy did it, I'm not going to convict him. So they got rid of him. But there has to be motive. What was my motive to kill my wife? They said that it was because Emily wanted a divorce. And I just didn't. I'm like one of those obsessed husbands that couldn't handle something like that. I think you guys probably know that I'm not. I mean, give me a break. I had $500,000 in the bank. I could have went anywhere I wanted to go, but motive's important. Like I told you, she was abused when she was young, and the last time it happened was actually into her adulthood. This person hit on her when she was not a kid anymore. This had a big effect on her life. It was probably the biggest thing that was wrong with her. She waited. I don't want to get in trouble. She waited until her parents died. Both of her parents died because she didn't want her parents to feel guilty. I got text messages if you want to read them. She had an issue with her father because she thought her father knew what was going on, sort of. So she was a little upset with him. But basically, I had another girlfriend who was abused. They wait until the parents die, and then they come out and they deal with it because they don't want their parents to have to go through shit like that. I don't think that's difficult to understand. Her dad died. A year later, her mother died. She immediately came out and started talking with family and friends about this person that molested her when she was a kid. Who do you think's got more motive to kill Emily? Me? I'm going to get upset. I asked her if she wanted a divorce. You know what I mean? Or this dude, you know what I'm saying? Or this person that always everybody about what he fucking did to her when she was a kid. Who's got more motive to fuck? Did you even fucking call this man and find out where he was that night? Nope. How much of a cop? How much of a shitty cop you got to be? That guy's got motive. He's got a life. I was on this woman's, your sister. Oh my god. Whatever. You know what I mean? Can you understand that? He's got way more motive than I do. And they didn't even fucking call the dude. They didn't even call him up. Wow. Fucking travesty. Fucking travesty. I'm not saying that's what she committed suicide as far as I know. But you as a cop, when you're looking at this evidence, all of a sudden you find out. I mean, what were you doing? What was Grubbs doing? Was he even trying?
I don't think so. I think he just took what he saw as the easy out. And that's all he really gave a shit about the whole time.
Wouldn't you at least, I mean, is that like hard to figure out that the guy that did this to Emily, she was starting to speak out about it. Maybe he might have a problem with that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And he lives around there. Where was he? Where was he that night? Did you even, you know what? He was there every day of the trial. But he wasn't there when Diane got that in there about her abuse. I looked over there and he wasn't there that day. And it was coordinated, man. They know. They didn't want anything to do with that. They tried to keep that out. They tried to keep it out, and they did. They objected, and it was never brought up again. But you read my book, and I think you guys kind of know that Emily had issues because she was molested when she was a kid, and the dude that did it. I mean, how could you not think that he might have motive to do something like this? I'm not saying he did at all. I'm not saying Emily was murdered. But I mean, look into it. It's just more evidence of tunnel vision, right?
You'd ask the question,
You ask a question. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's deep. That's even deeper. Yeah, but they didn't. Yeah.
Where are you going to get? I mean, am I making a big deal out of it? Yeah. Fuck that dude. Fuck him. You know what I mean? Fuck you. You know what I'm talking about. Fuck you. And fuck Grubbs for not even fucking what are you all related in Central Ohio or something? What the fuck's going on in Central Ohio, man? Fucking weird, man. Weird. And then I can't. I don't want to put anybody in the grease. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, Grubbs, man, come on, man. You didn't even look. You didn't even look into it. Nothing.
Yeah. As you say, it probably still ends up as suicide, whatever. The fact that he didn't investigate at all, that's what's wrong in the situation. Because it could be another suspect with bigger and more motive than what you have.
Right.
And yeah, just
right, like
bizarre.
Right. And that divorce motive, unless your wife was leaving with 100% of everything, then okay, I'll say, okay, maybe that's motive, like 100%. But divorcing of itself, that's a bit stupid.
All
like,
you got to do is read.
Some people are happy to divorce. Like, let me
read our text messages. I will give them. I will send you a copy. It's 6 months before that she went missing. Read them. There's nothing in there. There's not. Emily would get like weird because she was crazy and she would take off her wedding rings and the next day she'd put them back on. But as far as what I was saying, I didn't say shit. I was nothing but nice to her all the time.
Yeah.
There was no mention of anything. You saw they had 500 pages of, and then they got 10 pages of me. The worst thing I said was that she was being shallow. I was like, "You're shallow" or something. It's stupid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then you know what was in her text messages? Her talking to friends about being molested, and this is like weeks before she killed herself, that she's having issues with it, and she's talking to a friend. I posted it on Facebook. I'm like, here's your note. You want to know? You want to know why Emily did this? Here's your fucking note. I posted it. The cops knew. They knew. They had all that information. They didn't even fucking. It was just they didn't look at it. They didn't care.
Wow.
Emily was speaking to friends about, because she was waiting for her parents to die. Her mother dies. She starts talking about it with friends. She could openly talk about. All of her friends know who I'm talking about right now. All of her family all know who I'm talking about right now. You know what I mean? I just don't want to get in,
No.
Like, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Where these Matt, where these
go ahead.
Sorry, so no. Finish off.
I'm just saying the cops knew. They knew that she had issues because of this. They just literally pretended like it didn't happen. And then they did everything they could to keep that evidence out of court.
Oh,
but Diane was
it
lawyer.
played to a jury?
What's that?
Was it given to a jury? Was it published for a jury?
No, it was. There's rules of getting evidence into discovery, or into like what the jury can see, and they blacked out all the stuff that had anything to do with her being molested. They got that on, but because it was an evidentiary, like it was a loophole, and then the rules, so they got that taken out. But Diane got it in there. She mentioned it. That's all you got to do, bro. Is mention it once.
Yeah.
And then that's it. How can you say that this woman isn't suicidal when her therapy records are all blacked out? half the shit she says is blacked out. Okay. And then my lawyer says that she was she was a victim of abuse. And objection, and then she can mention it again. But that's getting it in there. She got it in there, and it had an effect on the jury. Talked to Connie about it. She knew. Susan Connie knew that. I mean,
Lady Law, let me know in the chat because you would definitely know this. If Emily, because as Matt said here, that Emily was texting her friends and letting her know that she was suicidal, etc. What would be the grounds for objecting to that evidence coming into trial? Because I'm thinking hearsay, because obviously it's self-serving in a way for Matt.
What it is.
But then again, it's not Matt's statement, it's Emily's statement. So does someone else's hearsay becomes your hearsay if they are the ones that are hearsay? Okay, all right. Logically, it would make sense because you can't just okay, fair enough. Okay. Yeah, okay.
The only
Thank
way
you,
that we
Lee.
were going to be able to get that evidence into court was if we could get the therapist to come and testify. She wasn't in town. She wasn't in town. She was away, and we couldn't. So it became hearsay. Is exactly what it was. You can't, unless the therapist is saying is there to testify. It's just something that's written on paper. You know what I mean? You can't. It's
Right.
not. It's not evidence.
And even the therapist can't say what Emily said either because she's not here to as
Thank
you, Chad, because I've completely forgot about your presence being the most important part of overriding hearsay. That's true.
That is a very interesting part of the trial. It's on YouTube. The jury's not there, and they argue that point. It's really interesting. Diane did her best, but they did get it on. It was a really good move by the prosecution. They got that evidence because of it being hearsay. But everybody knew. Well, I mean, who's going to make up shit like that and put it? I mean, but it's a rule. You got rules, and they got to follow them. So, but
surely the friends could have come in and testify. Did they do that? The friends come in and say that she was.
Apparently Diane didn't think it was necessary.
Oh.
Diane just mentioned it. She mentioned it, and I think that's all she needed. She knew that's all she needed to do. It was she starts talking about sexual abuse. Oh, the prosecution, objection, and then they have a sidebar, and then they come back and it never gets mentioned again. But now everybody knows that she had a problem with it. There was a problem there.
Yeah,
that was good enough.
Fair. Right, let's crack on a little bit more now. Then we've got a